Okay, so as you all know, I do a really crappy job in my videos of explaining what we're doing while we're fishing. So in this video, before the fishing starts, I wanted to just go through exactly what we did on the day we went out and what led to success that day. Now, first of all, I need to say that this was meant to be a slip bobber video. I had full intention of being able to show like low light conditions, lighted bobbers, catching walleyes between 8 to 14 feet in the cold water. It's very similar to the early ice, getting those walleyes in those low light conditions as they're coming up to feed. However, lots of things ended up moving us to be more adaptable and to actually go back to a real old style way of fishing. And so what ended up happening is getting out on the lake. It was quite windy, 10 to 14 mile an hour winds. We came up on a reef and we were looking for basically where are the fish, where are they congregating? So are they on the front side of the reef where the wind is blowing into it, or are they on the back side as it drops off, or even along on the sides of the reef? There might be little points. Are the fish congregating right around there and kind of hitting those areas? And the hope would be to get upwind and be able to cast out and let your bobbers just float slowly either up onto the reef or down off the drop or across the point. However, what we found was they were not hitting any time we were just letting the bobbers do the action. The bobbers speed, bringing that bait across. They just weren't hitting on that. What they were hitting on is when we were drifting as a boat, and imagine 10 to 14 mile an hour winds. We're going pretty darn fast in the boat and dragging jigs off the bottom. The other thing to point out here is instead of 8 to 14 feet, they were actually biting 14 to 24 feet. So we got off the reef, and this was on the, I guess, backside of where the wind was. So the wind went. We were on the part where the wind had already gone over the reef, and we got to that about 14-foot mark. And so this was not a steep drop off. This was a very slow gradation that went down to about 25, and we would drift over that until we got to 25, and then we would use the main motor and go all the way back up and then drift back across that. And that's what ended up getting the walleyes to bite. So, I still am a big believer in slip bobbers. It's always my first choice if I can, because it's so nice to use that spot lock. It's so nice to be able, and some guys can even still pitch their jigs or do a vertical jigging with a jigging wrap or something like that. So that's still my preferred method, but it wasn't working, and we tried several times. We tried after we'd pick up a bite, or we'd pick up a walleye. We'd try stopping and spot locking there. It just wasn't working, and so we had to adjust. And the jigs we used were Aussie jigs, and we went between the 1/2 ounce and the 3/8. Now, what I would say is the 1/2 ounce was even had a difficult time holding the bottom with the speed that we were going. But I want to go through exactly what each person was doing, just because, again, I do a terrible job of doing this in the moment while we're fishing. And so I think it's helpful before you watch the video to know exactly what each person was doing, what was successful, or whatever. So on the very back of the boat by the engine was Hunter. He was using a 3/8. Again, he's just that's what he prefers. He prefers to go lighter, and so because he was going lighter, he needed to fish differently. He would cast down into where we were drifting towards, and then allow that to go on the bottom and bump and just be able to lift it, bouncing it off the bottom until the boat passed it up. And once it got to the place where he couldn't hold the bottom anymore, he'd reel up, cast back up into the drift, and then do the same thing over and over again. And so that's what he was doing with the 3/8. JR right next to him was using a 1/2 ounce, and he was just letting it drag across the bottom. He wasn't even bouncing it. He just was letting it drag across the bottom. And then when he would, you know, when the fish would pick it up, you'd feel it and set the hook. Scott was bouncing it off the bottom. Scott's the one closest to me. He was bouncing it off the bottom, and then when he would get a little tap, he would let it kind of have. He wouldn't let line out, but he would, you know, move his rod towards that to give a little bit of space there to try to see if it would, you know, a little bit of time for it to pick it up before you set the hook. And then for me, I was bouncing it off the bottom the entire time, and I typically got hit. As a matter of fact, I think every single time I got hit when it was on the drop. And so I wouldn't even I wouldn't feel it. I would be bouncing it, and then it would pick it up on the drop, and as I started to lift it up to you know, lift up the jig again, it was on. And that's what that's kind of how I was fishing it. Now the most productive on this night was JR, just dragging it off the bottom. But a lot of that is just like confidence and feel and what works the best for you. So the last thing I'll say before we start is, again, this is a video about trying to encourage people. There's not ice yet, and everyone's getting excited for ice fishing, but this is a hot bite. This is just like early ice. It just requires a boat. But if you can get out there and you can look for those, and I would still be looking for 8 to 14, by the way. For whatever reason, that just wasn't working for us. They weren't all congregating in one area, and we needed to drift. But if you can get out, you know, one of the main issues would be that you need to find a ramp where you're able to get in and out of. And it took us, the first night that we went out, we had kind of a suspect ramp that we used. And the next day we spent some time driving around the lake and looking for the best way out. And so, you know, we found a marina. You pay for the parking and the boat ramp, but they were still allowing people to go out of there. Now, we noticed that some people with bigger boats were having a hard time with that. So you really want to check this stuff out before you head out, because it really kind of stinks if you're trying to get out there at a certain time and the next thing you know, you're spending an hour looking for a boat ramp that's going to work for you. But this place did work for us. It was tricky, a little bit tricky getting out of the harbor. Had to get the motor all lifted up and put down our trolling motor because it got quite shallow. The water was really low. But I'm telling you, if you can get out now before there's ice, those fish are hungry and they're healthy, and it's so much fun. So with that said, I hope you enjoy the video. Spot lock it? Not yet. Okay. It's a nice fish. Sorry, Scott. Oh, there you go.
19.
Nice fish, man.
What?
Whoa.
Oh.
Nice. Whoa. Ah. I don't know what he is, but I'm going to put back in. Good one? You're staying down there. Oh, no. Came off. Oh, there's a fish.
Yeah.
There's a fish right down there. I mean, we're in 22 feet.
You know what they say, hit them shallow. Shallow in the fall. or 22. Yep. Oh, he's off. Oh, that felt good.
You got one?
That's froze too.
Well, it's open, right?
Yeah.
Nice fish. That was in about 16 when he got that big.
Gosh, I wish we could just hang out there.
Fat that thing. Look how fat he is.
What?
20? Nice. I'm just gonna get a picture of you here. Gosh, way to go, Hunter.
Were you on bottom? There's a fish under us. Get him, JR.
Uh-oh, he called it. He called it again. Scott's got it.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I thought he came off for a second there.
That's nice. That's nice.
Oh! Oh!
That was
Got you in
close.
the eyes.
That was really close.
Oh, man.
Oh, that's not what we want.
Get out of this shallow. This is so fun. I mean, it totally, we're coming back. It's this place next year. Isn't this nice that we're not surrounded by a bunch of boats?
Yeah.
And
I wonder where they all are.
Right? I felt him on there. I tried to give him just a little bit.
he hit it on the drop.
There's one on the bottom. Here comes DNR. We should have our lights on, I suppose, huh?
I got one up here, but not back there. are healthy. Healthy fish here in Lax Lake. I'm not skunked.
I was gonna say, we've all gotten one now. We're good there. Let's wrap it up.
Yeah. There we go. He's got one. This is so fun.
Get it up there a little bit. Hold it out toward me.
Not quite 22.
There he goes.
I think if we just spot locked right here where we're out of the wind.
Yeah.